All right, let's load up. There's treasure in them hills.
Since 2009, sports card collectors have been searching for 12 cards that are worth $30 million. That's our top story this week on EDI Sports Show. Welcome back to EDI Sports Show. We have a huge show this week. As you can see from the intro, we are talking about the lost treasure hunting of the hobby. That's right, there are 12 cards that collectors are searching for, or I guess chasing after, that are worth around $30 million. Now, here's a preview of what we're going to do for this week. We're going to do the top story, which is the lost treasure. Then we're going to do the top 10 sales for September of 2024. Then we'll get into the card of the week. And last, we'll get to your viewer comments. If you didn't see last week's show, I talked about the most controversial comments that I have gotten so far, and I went through them. Hopefully you enjoyed that. This week, we're going to get right into the top story, which is all about searching for lost treasure. Now, if you're new to the hobby, or if you've been in the hobby for a while, then you understand that the hobby has changed dramatically over the last couple decades. And what I mean by that is this. These are 3 wax boxes. There are 2 from modern and then 1 from back in the day. This is a 1991 Fleer basketball box. And what I want to show you is something that a lot of collectors, especially modern day collectors, are not fully aware of. So this has a total of 40 cards, okay? I'm not sure exactly. I've never opened one of these boxes up, so I don't know if it's just one pack or if it's a couple packs, but there's only 40 cards in here. In terms of this is 2021 Absolute. This is what has the kabooms in it for football. So this is 2021. There are 50 cards in this box, okay? Now let me show you what a 1991 Fleer basketball box looks like. Here is what a 91 Fleer basketball box looks like. And there are a ton of packs. In fact, there are 36 packs in this box, and each pack has 14 cards. So you do the math. 14 cards times 36, and this has 50, and this has 40. All right? This was around $20. How much are these? So if you really want to understand inflation, well, then you should probably do, if you were to buy this many cards, how much would it cost you? It would cost you way more than just inflation. That's because the manufacturers, we got Topps, Panini, Fanatics, Bowman, they have all jacked up their prices well beyond what the market actually says they're worth. But this is the reason why. And this is why I want the top story this week to be all about chasing after treasure. Because these top 12 cards, or these missing 12 cards that have never been found, are what's driving the hobby towards this overinflated price. And so you really need to know what's going on. So let's do the first card. All right. So what's the first of the 12 cards that are still out there that people have not found? And the first one is the 2009 Steph Curry rookie, the Topps Chrome Superfractor. It just has never been found. Now, estimates are that this card would be worth around $1 million. I'm telling you right now, again, that's in inflated pandemic numbers. Long term, what this card would be worth, I think it's probably going to be worth under $1 million. Again, I don't know how much under $1 million, but literally it should be worth under $1 million because it's just manufactured rarity. It doesn't matter. It's not that big a deal. You know, if you want to own the card, you can own the card, but you're going to overpay for that card of what it's worth. What's the second card on this list? And that is the 2023 Bowman Draft Tom Brady auto card. Now, what makes this card so unique is that Tom Brady is in an Expos jersey. Yes, a baseball Expos jersey, because Tom Brady was drafted by the Montreal Expos back in the day. Now, this is a new modern card. It's a 2023 Bowman Draft card. Bowman just decided to put out a Tom Brady card because Tom Brady was getting a lot of love in the hobby, and so they thought that they could just capitalize it. This card is unique because the inscription that Tom Brady said is, if football doesn't work out, I can still play baseball. Again, tongue-in-cheek, Tom Brady playing a little joke on everyone, and that card is estimated to be worth, again, around $1 million. Don't think that's right. I think that it's worth less. I would predict that someone might want that card for around $500,000. And again, I think you might be overpaying for it. I think it's probably worth around $350,000 just because it's so unique and so rare. But it's a modern card. It's not an old card. It's not a vintage card. It's just a modern manufactured card. All right, let's get to the third card in this series. This is the 1997 Metal Universe Green Kobe Bryant card. Here, what I want you to know. There are multiple cards of this one printed. There were, in fact, 9 that were printed. The reason that this card is on the list is because 3 are missing. That's right. 3 have never been found, or they have been found and nobody knows that they have them. They could be locked up in a closet. They could have been thrown away. Who knows? But 3 of these 1997 Metal Universe Green cards for Kobe Bryant is somewhere. But that's the reason why this card is on the list. The 1997 Metal Universe Green Kobe Bryant. Still 3 out there, so you might actually be able to get your hand on one of these if you're into the gambling of the hobby. Again, that's the whole point of this top story this week, is that the hobby has changed into a gambling market. These one-of-ones and these superfractors and these 12 cards are only worth money because people have put bounties on them. They're not worth anything in the open market. You have one buyer who wants the card, and because you have one buyer who wants the card and who's announced that they will give you X amount of dollars for it, that has basically sort of set the bounty for it. Is the card worth what the person wants to pay for it? No, it's not. But that doesn't stop the hobby from doing this chase, and that's what you need to be aware of. If you're a collector and you like cards, stay away from these 12 cards. But I think that everybody needs to know what's going on in the hobby. All right, let's get to number 4. And so number 4 on the list is the 2017 Topps Chrome Superfractor 1-of-1 Kylian Mbappe. Yes, this is a soccer card. It's the only soccer card on the list, and apparently no one has found this 1-of-1 card. Again, I'm not quite sure why that matters, but it matters to the modern hobby. Somebody is looking for that card and they will overpay for wax in order to find it. You're better off buying a $2 lottery ticket and trying to get your Mega Millions. Honestly, you have better odds. Do not go chasing after these cards. But let's get to number 5 on the list. That is the 2014 Topps Update 1-of-1 Platinum Mookie Betts rookie card. Now, the reason why this card is on the list is because, unfortunately, because the way Topps does modern product is that all the cards, all the parallels are so similar. And this card, between the base card and the platinum card, again, the platinum 1-of-1 is what's worth all the money. It doesn't look very different. In fact, you might be holding a Mookie Betts rookie card that's worth several $100,000 right now. So here's my suggestion for everybody that has 2014 Topps Update cards. Go through and find your Mookie Betts. And then go to a card shop and say, is this the base card or is this the platinum card? Because you might own that platinum card and not even know it. All right, let's get to number 6 on this list. That is the 1997-98 Skybox Essentials Michael Jordan card. And what's interesting about this card is that there were 9 or 10 printed, and 3 are still missing. Again, where are they? Who knows? These are the things about the hobby which makes it interesting, is that when you overprint cards, things go missing, which again is the modern way of collecting in this hobby, which is that, you have these rare cards, manufactured rare, and since not all of them turn up, then there becomes this hunt for lost treasure. All right. Number 7 on the list, 2016 Bowman Chrome, the Superfractor 101 Juan Soto card. Now, this is an auto card, and here's an interesting story about this one. So we actually know where this card is. PSA is currently holding this card in its vault. Now, you might be asking, well, then why is it on the list? And the reason is because, unfortunately, what happened in the hobby, as some of you guys are obsessed with trying to fix the hobby, kind of be corrupt and trying to, game the system, this card was originally sent into Beckett and got a grade of a 9. The collector bought it, then cracked it out of the case, trimmed the card, and then sent it back to PSA. PSA wrongfully gave it a PSA 10 because PSA has no quality control, but found out later that it was actually trimmed in one of the scandals that we had in the hobby. You could probably thank Sports Card Radio for that. But PSA did one thing good for the hobby, which is they bought the card back. And so now they're holding the card. They re-slabbed it into an altered card slab, so it is no longer a PSA 10. It is now a PSA altered card, which is correct since someone decided to cut the card. You guys need to really stop cutting your cards. If you want to get them graded, wipe off any dust and dirt and then send it in for grading. Stop trying to game the system. It is what it is. But unfortunately, because the hobby has been so corrupt over the last decade, this is what people do. Anyway, that card is now locked away from the hobby, so who knows if this thing will ever resurface. But right now, it might be the most coveted card because no one is allowed to have it. All right, let's get to number 8 on the list. Remember, there are 12 cards that I'm going over. This is number 8. The 2024 Topps Now USA basketball card, which is probably the most hyped up card in the last year. Now, which one am I talking about? You know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the triple auto. We're talking Steph Curry, we're talking LeBron James, and we're talking Kevin Durant. Topps Now issued this card and they did it on a redemption. Those redemption packs went out to collectors and no one has redeemed it. Where is the redemption card? Why has no one wanted to get this card? It is sitting there at Topps. We know where it is, but no one has redeemed it. It might be worth $500,000 to $1 million because it has 3 potential Hall of Famers. Again, all 3 players are still playing now, but they're odds-on favorite to all be in the Hall of Fame. This is probably the best triple auto in the hobby. Let's get to number 9, which is the 2018 Prism Black Luka Doncic 1/1 rookie card. Now, everybody knows the Prism Luka. That's the iconic rookie card, but he has really emerged as one of the main superstars in the NBA, and so Luka seems to have recovered in terms of his hobby relevance. That means that this Prism Black card, which is a 1/1, is now worth several $100,000. Again, still not claimed, still don't know where it is, and that's the point. Where are all of these cards? Let's get to number 10 on the list, and we only have 2 more after this. Number 10 is the 2023-24 Upper Deck. That's right, Young Guns Gold Outburst Connor Bedard. Now, this one is interesting because, again, Connor Bedard is a young phenom in the NHL. Is he the greatest player ever? Not yet. In fact, we're not sure exactly how things are going to play out. He's in his second year in the NHL, and he is playing well, although he is very injury prone. And for those that don't know hockey very well, I have another name for you. Although he did become a Hall of Famer, Paul Kariya, who is a Hobey Baker Award winner, but Paul Kariya's career was cut short because of concussions. And that might actually start to happen with Connor Bedard, who has already been out twice last year because of getting hit a lot by the other NHL players. He is not a very big person. So therefore, when he gets out there and he gets hit by some of these 6'4", 6'5", 240-pound players, it hurts a lot, and Connor Bedard is starting to wear down, and he's only 19 years old. That card is still out there. You can go and try and chase it. It is in Series 2 of 2023-24 Upper Deck. It is still on the market. Those boxes are only going for around $200 to $250. Now let's get to number 11 on the list, and we got one more after that. The 2024 Topps Mercury basketball product, which is a brand new product from Topps. It is unlicensed, but they have an exclusive autograph agreement with Victor Wembanyama. That means that this card is a dual auto with Wembanyama and LeBron James on it, and it is a 1-of-1 superfractor. It has not been pulled yet, and so there is a bounty on it for about $1 million. Again, these are lottery tickets that you need to be aware of. There is a bounty on it for $1 million, but it has not been pulled yet. Maybe you will find it. And the last card on this list goes way back to 2003, 2004, the Upper Deck basketball product. They do not do basketball anymore, but that's why this product is so coveted. And this card is unreal. Everybody knows about the Logo Man patches. Everybody does. Well, guess what? This one Logo Man has not been found, and it is the LeBron James rookie Logo Man Auto 1-of-1. I cannot begin to tell you that that is really unheard of, especially since everyone ripped all of those older cards. This goes back to 2003, 2004. So where exactly is this card? Is it stuck in someone's closet? Was it thrown out by someone's parents? I mean, can you believe that? This one could have been put into the shredder, and it's worth God knows how much. Estimates say that this card could be worth anywhere from $10 million to $25 million if it is found, because of the fact that Logo Mans are so coveted, and this is a 1-of-1 of LeBron James. Those are the 12 top cards that the hobby is looking for. This is the hunt for lost treasure. Again, 12 cards worth around $30 million. And that's our top story for this week. Now let's look at the top sales for September 2024. Okay, now let's get into the top 10 sales for September 2024. Yes, another top 10 list. So here we go. Let's just get into it. Number 10 on the list is the 2018 Topps Chrome Sapphire Shohei Ohtani Superfractor 1-of-1 rookie autograph, which is graded a BGS 9.5 Auto 10. This card was purchased through Sotheby's auction house for a total price of $336,000. So that's number 10. All right, let's take a look at the number 9 card on the list. And this was also through Sotheby's. In fact, Sotheby's sold 8 of the 10 top sales in September. So this one is an original Pokemon card. That's right, a 1998 Pokemon Illustrator Pikachu, which got a CGC grade 9, and this sold for $360,000. Let's go to number 8 on the list. That's a 2022 Bowman Chrome Ellie De La Cruz Superfractor 101. It got a PSA 10 Auto 10, and it also sold for $360,000. Number 7 on the list is the 2003 Upper Deck LeBron James Exquisite Collection RPA, which got a BGS 8 Auto 10. It sold through Sotheby's for $432,000. Again, we're starting to pick up here. We're still not at a $500,000 yet, but we're getting there. Number 6 on the list is the 2015 Panini Immaculate Collection Tom Brady NFL Shield Patch 101, which got a PSA Authentic Auto 10. That was sold for $480,000 through Sotheby's. And then the number 5 card is the 2005 Upper Deck LeBron James Exquisite Collection 101 BGS 8.5 Auto 10. That sold for $576,000. Once again, at Sotheby's. All right, we got another Sotheby's card. This is the number 4 one on the list. And this goes back to 2005 Upper Deck Michael Jordan and Julius Erving. Yes, an Exquisite Collection Dual Logo Man 101 BGS 8.5 and Auto 10, sold for $780,000. We're doing really well. We're getting there. We're getting close to $1 million. So here we go. Number 3 on the list is a classic vintage card. 1955 Roberto Clemente rookie card, PSA 9. Yeah, PSA 9. And that sold for $840,000. That classic vintage card. Number 2 on the list is the 2004 Upper Deck LeBron James Ultimate Collection Signed Logo Man 1 of 1. Got a PSA Authentic and an Auto 10, sold for $854,000. And here we go. Drum roll, please. Number 1 on the list, the 1961 Fleer Wilt Chamberlain. Got an SGC 10, and this sold for a record $1.7 million. It was registered as a private sale. Again, what an incredible deal. I would not be surprised if this actually was bought by SGC's CEO himself, but then again, we'll just have to find out. That is the top 10 sales for September. Now let's get to the card of the week. This week's card of the week is the 1909-1911 T206 Frank Chance card. Frank Chance played 17 seasons with the Chicago Cubs and the New York Yankees from 1898 to 1914. The Hall of Famer was a 2-time World Series champion and the famous first baseman in the double play combination of Tinkers to Evers to Chance. And now it's time to get to your viewer comments. I hope you enjoy this show just as much as I like making it, but we're here now to get to your comments, and I've said this before, I must have the smartest audience on YouTube. The questions, the comments, everything you guys say is just way above everything else I see on other YouTube channels. But let's get into the first comment. This is from Tim K, 1976. He says, I collect hockey, baseball, and football in that order. Just curious, what is your favorite hockey card that you own? And so I went into my PC and dug it out. And so here you go, Tim, I'm going to show you. So this is my favorite Ranger card that I have, and I didn't get it that long ago. Actually got it during the pandemic. And this is the Adam Fox Signature Materials Rookie Patch Auto. That is definitely, I just love the fact that it's got the jersey in it. It's got his autograph. It's probably my best Ranger card. Now, here are from outside of the Ranger collection. This is, and it's kind of a toss-up because Upper Deck, I don't know, Upper Deck was having problems back in the day, but here you go. So, Teemu Selanne, you ready? So, here is the Young Guns. And then here is the Olympic card. Okay, so they're both rookies. I don't know which one is my favorite, but I just figured I'd put them both up. So those are the two. What I would love to get is some kind of, again, patch auto for Selanne. and also Paul Correa. So those are two players that I like a lot, but I would want both of them. If I could get a Solani in a Jets jersey, so like the patches from the Jets, that'd be great. But I would take both in Ducks jerseys, the purple jersey, if possible. That would be awesome. But those are my hockey cards. Thanks so much, Tim, for your comment. Let's get to the next one. This is from Boston Fan. All right, love this video. The problem is that someone like me who has diagnosed OCD is that I have 100 lists. I am working on paring it down to 3 or 4 basic categories for directions, plus a separate list for just stuff I see on YouTube and think I might like. If those stick in my mind, they will then migrate to one of my main lists. I love this comment. Honestly, awesome. Thank you so much, Boston. I'm sure a lot of you out there have the same problem, have the same issue. So yes, I did recommend that you make lists. Okay, so this is one of the lists that I made, but it's from a spreadsheet. I have one spreadsheet for my entire PC. So it includes the cards that I'm keeping and then the cards that I still don't have. So I made a full list basically of the PC that I want. So one of the things that I want to do is kind of go back to the first step. How did I get to that spreadsheet? How did I decide what am I keeping and what do I want? And the answer for me is that I'm trying to build a PC that basically chronicles the decades with players that I particularly like decade by decade. Now that's for baseball. So I want to have cards from the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way through modern. And then on basketball, hockey, and football, I'm picking specific players or specific cards. Like for basketball, I would like the 2008 Topps Chrome LeBron James and the 2008 Topps Chrome Kobe Bryant. I don't want others, like I have a second year Kobe, that's fine. I don't have any other LeBron James, and I don't want any other LeBron James. In football, I'm still trying to figure out what players that I want to keep or what players that I might want to go after. I'm not quite sure yet with football, but I have an idea for baseball. I know what I want for hockey. I understand what I want to do for basketball. I still have to figure out football. But right now, and I actually told this to a lot of collectors at the Arizona State Card Show last weekend, I bought those, plastic bins from Walmart. And if you do that, honestly, Boston, if you do that, forget the list. Just buy a plastic bin and put your cards in the plastic bin. If they don't fit, you have too many cards. If you want to keep 2 bins, keep 2 bins. But that's the way to limit how many cards you keep because you have a physical limitation. Do that. Figure out, where am I going to keep my cards? How do I want to display my cards? I have this lovely double bookcase here behind me, and this is my display. So I've been putting stuff out and trying to, sell the stuff that doesn't fit. And that's the point, is sell the stuff that doesn't fit. It doesn't matter that it's worth money. In fact, that's good that it's worth money. Sell it, get the money, and then put it into your PC. Only keep the stuff that you want to keep. All right, hopefully that helps, but if it doesn't, please ask another question. I'm curious and obviously concerned. I want you to be healthy and also collect with fun. All right, this is from David Singer, 7580. He says, how do I get a mailing address to send you some Gary Carter cards I've been saving for you? Wow, okay, so David, thank you. I appreciate that offer. Why don't we do this? Instead of me just sending you my mailing address, why don't you DM me on either Instagram or X at EDI Sports Cards. Let's have a conversation. Maybe you can come on the channel. Again, I appreciate the offer. Let's get to the next comment. Here we go. This is from SP123. How many people have a card worth $10K who paid less than $1K for it? All right. So that's a very good question, and I understand the suspicion. Like, well, that's impossible. That can't happen. And like, it may be more impossible today than it was, let's say, a decade ago. The amount of knowledge in the hobby is much more than it used to be. So just the main, like the average collector knows way more today than they did a decade ago. So your question may be accurate, but it's only a modern thing, because I'm gonna just give this one. So you saw the PSA 9 in this series. So in this episode at the beginning, the PSA 9 Roberto Clemente rookie card, the 1955 Topps, that sold for around $750,000. Okay, I have one. It's not a PSA 9. Just going to say that. So mine might grade for a 6. Might. And if it does, then it gets close to that 10K level. I don't know exactly. I know a PSA 5 is worth around 5K. You know, that's what it's worth, around 5K. So a 6 really gets up there, and it may push to 10. You know, maybe it's 9. But I didn't pay $1,000 for this card. In fact, I got this card along with, I think, 150 other 1955 Topps cards in a starter set, which I paid total less than $1,000. I think I paid like $700, $800 for the whole starter set. And there were multiple rookies in it. Again, this is going back 30, 35 years. So my point being is that it may be harder to purchase cards that are worth that much money for less than $1,000. But some of these cards will be worth more in the future. Some of them, not a lot, maybe a handful. And so you can get in on the beginning of those cards. Like if you have Mookie Betts rookie cards, those are now worth around 2K. You didn't pay 2K back in 2014. You didn't. So that's my point, is that you can get some multiples as players start to really advance their career. It's harder in baseball to get that kind of multiple, because you have to actually get on a trajectory to go to Hall of Fame. So like Mookie Betts is on a trajectory to go to Hall of Fame. Juan Soto is on a trajectory. The guy that's not on the path yet is Acuna. He's not there yet. He's moving towards future Hall of Fame, but he's not there yet. Possibly with what Shohei Ohtani just did last year, 50-50. If he puts up another year of 50 homers and he gets another MVP, I obviously think he's Hall of Fame. And so anybody that has Shohei Ohtani cards, I mean, you're getting that multiple. So yeah, like in a modern sense, anyone that bought Shohei Ohtani at the beginning, if you have rookie patch autos, yeah, those cards are going to be worth significantly more. There's no more luck. There's no more chance. There's no more and when Shohei got hurt and the card prices came down and crashed, and some of you bought in at that level, you've made your money back and then some. So, that's kind of the thing. And I know that that's difficult for a lot of people who watch the channel, because I say all the time that your cards are not worth what you think they're worth. And that's the truth, because 99% of your cards are not. Like, I can actually pick out the cards that are worth money. Go back and watch, that was a few weeks ago. I told you how many cards have sold for more than $1 million. Well, that was back then. We just added a new one today. The Wilt Chamberlain SGC 10 just cracked the $1 million mark. That's 1.7 million in a private sale. So that adds to that list, but it's still not that many cards. And I know that Jeff Wilson just put out a whole video about all these $1 million cards. Again, he's speculating that they're worth $1 million. They've never sold for more than $1 million. They've never sold for more than $1 million. So his speculation doesn't help you. You need actual registered sales. Stop going on speculation. Registered sales will tell you what the market is saying. If the fact that someone wants to predict, again, so Jeff Wilson and Mr. Golden and, their pump and dump scheme, it doesn't work for you as a collector. You have to really get down in the weeds and look at the data and look at the actual registered sales to see, okay, what's the ceiling on this card? Because that's really the max. Yes, someone might pay more for it, but, unless there's something that happens, like a Shohei Ohtani doing 50-50. If he didn't do 50-50, he doesn't win the MVP, Francisco Lindor is going to win the MVP. It's unfortunate for Lindor. He's going up against a historic year. There's nothing you can do, Francisco. You had an incredible year, but you're still not going to win the MVP. Shohei Ohtani just did history. So, that's my point. If Shohei doesn't do 50-50, Lindor's the MVP, and yes, Shohei wins the World Series, but we're having a much different conversation. And that's my point, is that some of these things line up, and you can't predict these things ahead of time. I know that the sports card investor likes to say that he has a crystal ball, that he knows what's happening, the top 5 cards that are doing well, the top 5 cards you should buy, all of this data that he has from his app that doesn't work. I understand. I understand how it's confusing to the people in the hobby. But that's why hopefully you come to this channel after you watch all of his stuff, make your comments, say, hey, this is what he said. This is what I think. What do you think? Let me know what you think. You guys watch all of these channels. You watch Sports Card Radio. You watch Dan the Card Man. You watch Sports Card Investor. You watch everybody on YouTube. Well, now's the time to start putting down your comments and figuring out who's real and who's making it up. I want to thank everybody for joining me this week. It was a pleasure. Hopefully you enjoyed this type of an episode. If you did, hit the like button. I will see you next week. This is Doc saying, have a great weekend. There's only one show I want to watch. HOBBY, EDI Sports Show. Drop every Friday. Hot take, where's the market? Behind the scenes, from the card shows to the streets.